Hello everyone, and welcome to your Melissa Moment. So, I want to talk banks for a minute. Now, I would say pretty much every single person uses a bank, right? That's just something that we all feel is necessary to do. Use a bank. That's where we keep our money. That's where, when we get paid, our money goes to. That's where, a lot of auto withdrawals happen. That's where we get car loans, lines of credit, mortgages, whatever, right? Everyone uses banks. And I can't tell you how ass backward banks are. Like, it's so frustrating. So, my husband is brilliant. Don't tell him I said that. My husband is brilliant. Don't tell him I said that. My husband is brilliant. Don't tell him I said that. And he said, you know what, we should probably call our bank about our mortgage, because right now, mortgage rates are so low. They've never been this low before. We should look at maybe switching our mortgage to get a better interest rate. Now, this kind of stuff I don't think about this stuff. I don't care. I have a mortgage. I pay it. I'm happy, right? But he is like, no, we got to make sure that we're not paying more than we should, which is good, because normally that's me. I'm usually the one who's concerned about money. But for this example, this is him being like, no, we should probably look into this. So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. So I'm like, go ahead, call, ask questions, do whatever you want to do. Now, we have been married. This will be 10 years this year. We've been married, and we've been together 12, and we've had our house for 11 years. But the mortgage, it's in my name only. At the time when we bought the house, my husband was not in a position to be put on the mortgage. And again, that wasn't from my point of view. That was from the bank's point of view. And I can't tell you how I hate that the bank has so much control over our lives. Like, even back before I was with my husband, I wanted to buy a condo, and I had been renting an apartment, right? And I can't remember back then. I think I was paying like $750 a month for an apartment or something stupid like that. And I'm like, you know what? $750 a month, I can probably buy a place and pay pretty close to the same amount of money. And then it would be mine. I would be putting that money, it would be going into equity instead of just renting and throwing it away every month. So I traveled down to the bank and I was like, hey, I'd like to get a mortgage, please. And I mean, I understand that there's debt ratios and all that kind of bullshit. But the bank, they looked at me and they said, sorry, you can't afford a mortgage. According to our calculations, the biggest a mortgage you could afford would be a payment of $263 a month. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, but I'm paying $750 a month right now. And I've been paying this consistently for over 2 years. And I've never missed a payment, and I've never been late on a payment. So here I am telling you I can afford $750 a month. And the bank's looking at me like, nope, $263 is all you can afford. And I absolutely hate that they have that much control over us. I mean, honestly, who are they to tell me how to use my money, where to use my money? If I consistently can pay my rent, and I've proven that for over 2 years, then why can't I pay that same amount in a mortgage? Don't worry about all the other fucking payments I have, or groceries, or whatever else you fucking think I need in my life. Obviously, I've been doing quite well for the last 2 years on my own, paying all of my bills and being a responsible individual. So just give me a motherfucking mortgage. So I already hate the banks, right? So then my husband, he tried calling the bank to talk about our mortgage. And I just want to clarify, he is not on the mortgage. However, he is on our land title, on our property. So he's not on the house mortgage, but he is on the property paperwork. Okay? I know. It's confusing. I don't get it myself. I've tried numerous times to put his name on the mortgage, but again, not loopholes, but fucking hoops we got to jump through to do that. It's so fucking stupid. It really is. So, whatever. So apparently he called to ask them questions, and not even to make any major decisions, just literally to ask questions, right? And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Your name is not on the mortgage. Therefore, we cannot have this conversation with you. The person whose name is on the mortgage is going to have to be the one to contact us. Now, my husband is busy. I'm busy. He works outside the home. I work inside the home. Like, it's very rare that we're together during, business hours of a bank. So my husband asked, like any normal person would do, okay, no worries. Can we do a 3-way call with my wife, whose name is on the mortgage, me, and you? And they were like, oh no, we cannot do a 3-way call. Sorry, sir. You guys would have to be together. What's the fucking difference? Whether we're sitting side by side in the same fucking room or we're on the same phone call. Like, honestly, what's the fucking difference? There is none, except you want to fucking use your power and try to control every little fucking thing. So fine. Yesterday, after I dropped our daughter off at school, I went over to where my husband works so we could sit in the same room and ask these fucking questions. Now, again, I don't know anything really about mortgages. I mean, I know enough. I'm not 100% ignorant when it comes to mortgages, but I don't really know the right questions to ask, or I don't know what questions my husband wants to ask, whatever. So we're sitting in the same room, and we've got this girl representative, whatever they call themselves, on the phone. And she's like, yeah, how can I help you today? And he starts off with, hi, Matthew here. Melissa is also here. She's the one on the mortgage. We just wanted to ask you some questions about our mortgage and see if maybe it would make sense to, get a lower interest rate at this time. So his first question he said was, would you be able to please tell me what our current interest rate is? And I kid you not, I'm there. And she says, okay, so Melissa is there as well. And I'm like, yes, I'm here. Hi. And she's like, okay, well, I'm sorry, Matthew, but we cannot answer any questions that you ask us. Any questions need to come from Melissa. And it's like, I'm right here. Like, what, you think he's fucking got a gun to my head to find out what my interest rate on my mortgage is? Like, come on, really? So we look at each other like, are you fucking kidding me? So, just fucking ridiculous. So then Matthew goes, okay, Melissa, could you please ask her what our current interest rate is? And I responded with, yes, I can. Could you please tell us what our current interest rate is? I kid you fucking not. This was our whole conversation. Every time Matthew wanted to ask a question, he had to direct it to me, and then I had to direct it to her. What the fuck? Like, really? This is ridiculous. This is a waste of time. I could not believe it. And this was what we had to do. And, he even said, he's like, so we don't have to go through this in the future? Is there any way just to put my name on the file that, yes, her husband of 10 years is able to ask questions about their mortgage? And she was like, well, there's 2 ways we can do that. First of all, we would have to reassess the whole mortgage to see if we could add you to it, which is a fucking no-go, because since we originally got the mortgage 11 years ago, I'm currently working from home. And as you know, if you work from home, according to the government, it's very hard to claim any income when you don't get a standard T4. Therefore, the bank would look at it and be like, oh, sorry, you have no income. Guess what, Melissa? You can't have your mortgage anymore that you've had for 11 fucking years and been paying consistently without missing a fucking payment. But guess what? We just don't trust you anymore. So therefore, no mortgage for you. So we're not fucking going down that road because that would just be absolutely horrible. And then the other way to get his name put on it is, again, I have to make an appointment to go into a fucking bank and sit with someone in a fucking office and say, hi, can you please put my husband of 10 years on our mortgage so he can call and ask questions? Why the fuck do I have to do that? Why the fuck can't I just tell you on the phone like I am on the phone with you right now? I have verified my identity. I've given you my fucking address and maiden name and social security, whatever the fuck you asked. I gave you all the right answers. I'm obviously who I say I am. Just fucking put his name on it. Like, literally, all they have to fucking do is go into the computer and add his name on the fucking file. That's it. But apparently, they can't fucking do that because of all these fucking rules. And it's ridiculous. All these rules do is waste motherfucking time. That's all they do. So, fuck you, banks. I hate you all. If I didn't have to use a bank, I wouldn't use a bank. But they've made it, how convenient, that if you want to have a mortgage, if you want to have a fucking car payment, you have to use a bank. Unless you're a rich motherfucker who can just pay everything cash. And I don't know about you, but I personally do not know anyone who can go in and pay cash 100% for something. I think that's a very rare occurrence. But if you are one of those motherfucking people, congratulations, because you have got it figured out. So fuck you, banks. Quit making it so fucking difficult for people, especially during the pandemic. Seriously. Like, why can't we make this easier? Do you really think I want to go into the bank and sit there and say, hey, add his name? And I literally sit there and watch them type in the computer. Oh, okay. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, before I do that, I just need you to sign on this piece of paper that I'm just going to file away somewhere and no one's ever going to look at it again before I do that. Fuck you. And that has been your Melissa Moments.